Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, Valerie Ames, Tiamat, and I am doing this video because I am being spirit-led to do so. One of the major topic for this video is the temptation to be petty and pettiness. It's something that my guides have me working on right now. In understanding it and how subtle it is, that it is a wise snake, and the pettiness will bite you and cause you to be petty, um, even when that's not really your nature. But that ego will grasp onto your need to be petty. It's your need to um, excuse me, to defend yourself, for the ego to defend itself, for the ego to feel validated and vindicated, seen, heard, the whole nine. Um, this is where the pettiness comes in. And it was shown to me in this way. And beloveds, it doesn't matter what your religious consciousness is, just as long as you are consciously aware of, let's say, the duality of right and wrong, and how it plays out in your life. When you understand that duality, you understand the connectedness to everything and the way it's connected right now, and the way that energy flows through things. And this comes when you learn to almost, you have to teach yourself to almost have an outer body experience, almost to be able to observe yourself, kind of. um, One of the ways that worked for me was to focus on my highest self, and then have that highest self watch, observe me, my lower vibrating self, my infant self, my egoic self, my human self, you know, struggling around, walking around, interacting, being, knowing, doing, responding, reacting, engaging. It's all in order to know yourself, um, at a deeper level than you have ever done before. It's about self-mastery. One of the things that this has taught me is that um, growing up the way I did, my mother had bipolar. She was bipolar manic depressive. And one of her tendencies when she was in her manic um, phases was to be petty. She could be petty. Woo. I mean, some of the things that would happen, and I used to steel myself not to be drawn in, not to be drawn in. I taught, not, don't be drawn into that. You know where that goes. You know how it goes. And most times, I was able to resist being drawn into the pettiness because it was a game to her. And what I'm realizing now is that I have my own mama inside of me that is petty. And when she is triggered, she responds with pettiness. Pettiness to a degree that is like, woo! And it's a cutthroat pettiness. And it's meant to be that way. It's designed to be that way because you are literally telling and teaching somebody, don't fuck with me. I'm not to be messed with. And if you want to play these games, I can play them, baby. I done mastered them. But now we have to get to the point where we're not going to engage the pettiness of our ego self. See, it's not about somebody else. This was never about my mother. This was about me learning not to be a petty person or to identify that pettiness within myself and to understand where that pettiness came from and what that pettiness is all about. As, like I keep saying, we are infants, many of us. And in this infancy stage, pettiness has to be addressed because that is where the crabs in the barrel mentality comes from. It's a pettiness. And the pettiness is the opposite of the pride, of that joy, of that love, of that wanting and needing to see the evolution and the ascension. Pettiness is to keep you down, is to keep that foot on your neck, to let you know, no, you ain't better than me. And I asked Mama where this came from within me. And what I was given was the story of Satan the devil, and understanding who is the most pettiest character that has been introduced to your consciousness. Satan, the original liar, the opposition, the opposer. What is the opposite of unconditional love? Pettiness, petty love. This is, like I said, I'm still working with this information, and it's very deep for me, and I am disseminating it with all of me. I'm committed to understanding the pettiness and why it drives us and why we need it as a crutch, and sometimes it's an unconscious response because it is a defense mechanism. You don't even realize you're being petty. I'm being me. No, you're being petty. You're being passive aggressive. Instead of confronting the situation, you're going about it like a snake in that sly way of dealing with it. I'm going to say it to you, but I ain't going to say it to you in your face directly. There will be doubts, and you will be like, what does she mean? Well, did she mean this? Or did she mean that? Because it could be taken both ways. Pettiness. Pettiness is not infinite intelligence. It is the opposite of it. It is fighting yourself. It is undermining yourself. It is self-sabotage. We are all connected. And when we're petty with someone else just because they're petty with us, monkey see, monkey do. It's primal. It's instinctual. It's that lower vibrating nature that we are trying to rise above. And the best way to do that, beloveds, is to isolate it, identify it, isolate it, and then deprogram it. Deprogram yourself from it. And every time that pettiness rises, tell your egoic self, that child self within you that needs to feel vindicated that way or needs to react or be in that space. Mm-mm, mm-mm. We ain't doing that no more. We're not that being anymore. You need to rise up. You need to rise up. And mean it. Mean it. Love that part of yourself that feels that it has to go into petty mode because it's programmed into you, into your DNA. That's some Willie Lynch shit for real, baby. That's some slave syndrome stuff for you right there when your pettiness. Understand what it is. Understand what it came from. Understand that it needs to be psychically, surgically removed from your heart, from your mind, from your nature. And again, when you understand the story of Set, Satan, that opposition self, you understand the hierarchy. You understand with the ascension of Isaiah, the the lesser light and the brighter light. You understand the difference between the two. You understand how one operates and you understand how the other operates. And sitting on that throne, you get to decide which light you're going to use and how much of it, and if you're going to do a combo of it or whatever. But it's up to you. You sit in the chair of power. It's your conscious will that makes the decision. And once a decision is made, beloveds, it 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 can be, if it's the wrong decision, allow yourself to say that was the wrong decision. I apologize for that. In the moment, it seemed like the right thing. But hindsight and looking back on it with my mature self, I was wrong. I was wrong for that. And I apologize. I love myself enough, and I love my connection enough with mama, and I love my connection enough with you enough to say, you know what? Let's squash that. That's lower nature stuff. And we're trying to vibrate out of that. And excuse me if I revert to it, because that's all I've known for 53 something years and many, many other lifetimes. So allow me to grow up out of my pettiness. Allow me to understand when somebody is being passive aggressive with me, that they're trying. They're trying. And in a loving way, instead of getting drawn up in their pettiness and in their passive aggressive vibration, frequency, projection. I have to cloak me. I have to be grounded. I have to be aware and vigilant and be mindful of my gifts, of my abilities, and my greatest one is in my mouth, and that's that sword, that's that tongue, and I am the Queen of Swords, so I have to really watch it, and that is a conscious knowing on my part. It is a recognition on my part in going forward and moving forward in my own ascension process. It's about knowing yourself. And if you can't know and identify your own behaviors and see where they are rooted to, follow them to the root of where they come from, you won't be able to heal them. You've got to be able to heal them. And when you heal them not only in this generation, but backwards and forwards. So you're doing multidimensional healing when you do that. I'm not going to let this be long and drawn out. I am going to pull some cards to clarify what I said, what was given to me with this awakening to what pettiness is and why we as human beings are so petty and passive aggressive towards each other. That is the duality. That is that other nature. That is that other snake. See, we have the wise one, and then we have that other one. That other one. And it's that other one, you know, that we have to really work with, because that sucker is wise. It knows you like the back of his hand, and it knows how to manipulate you, and it knows how to get you, and it knows how to set you off, and it just sits back and watches you as you go through your process of doing exactly what it wanted you to do. And so we cannot serve two masters. So in your consciousness, you have to decide who you are and how you're going to proceed from knowing who you are, what you're going to build from there. What is your foundation? And see, that's the other thing that came up is you we have learned to build our foundations on the skeletons, on the bones, on the unhealed factions of ourselves. And because we're standing on that foundation, and that foundation is unaddressed as healed, we still take on all those unhealed vibratory emotions, frequencies, feelings, thoughts. And it's really, like I said, it's really deep when you really think about it, beloveds. When you really let yourself, go there with the pettiness, with the understanding of what pettiness is. And for some people, it is second nature. It is second nature. And that's where the not judging people we need to work on that. Because some people are the way they are as a defense mechanism. It has nothing to do with you personally. It's just how they respond to the stimuli that you're providing to them. It triggers them. It puts them in a spot where they have to defend. Even if you're giving them something healing, something whole, something beautiful, they receive it as it's coming from a petty place from you. And it has to be dealt with and received in a petty or passive aggressive manner. And a lot of that is where the dark humor and the dark sarcasm and everything else comes from. These are all coping mechanisms. They're if when you look at comedians, Robin Williams, for example, a lot of them are empaths, highly, deeply sensitive beings. And they cope with this matrix system by being comedians, by making fun of, by finding something to laugh in, even if it's dark humor. It's cathartic, it's healing, it's a way of telling yourself it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Because I can't change it, so I have to just deal with it in this way. But see, beloveds, that's where we are entering and knowing what this Aquarian age is. This Aquarian age, this red sun, this energies that are receiving, that are returning, these things will no long they won't work in this fifth dimension. You cannot bring pettiness into this new earth, this new consciousness, this new evolutionary transition from one stage to another. Pettiness and passive aggressiveness, there's no place for it. There's only unconditional love. And the fifth dimension is about maturity and spiritually maturing, where you don't need to always answer something back. You don't need to get back at somebody because nobody can make you feel small. You know who you are. You know that you don't have to retaliate because karma will do its thing. You know that we are all infants and we're all evolving and we're all learning to adapt. And that we are such diverse expressions of infinite intelligence that we have to allow for that which is different. That is a given. 2254. We are not entering, we're at a very pivotal point in our awareness of ourselves as spiritual beings. We are at a point where we are starting to look at ourselves and juxtapose that against the world. And we're seeing the reflections that are mirrored back at us. And it's from this reflecting of the sun and the moon that we become the stars. That we channel, channel that energy, that we receive it, that we harvest it, that we utilize it, that we are nourished by it, and that we grow from it. And all that does not serve, leave it behind. Leave it behind, and leave it behind without feeling sorry. Because understand that it just needs to ripen. It just needs to grow. And if it's not ready, don't force it. Don't try to force it. Just let it be. Let it. It's that butterfly, it's that caterpillar. You've got to let it be, you know. for it to be strong, for it to be its truest, highest self. You have got to let it be. You've got to let it struggle out of there on its own. So, first of all, it can know that it did it and it can do it. Where you choose to dwell in your mind is a choice. Um, how you choose to see yourself is your choice. To realize fully that you are not alone on this planet is the empowerment of a lifetime. You can be at level 1 and instantly you're boosted to level 10 simply by leveling up, by accepting, by allowing the truth to penetrate, to heal, you know, to inoculate you, to energize you, to expose you to the light. It's a beautiful process when you know what you're going through. It's a beautiful process when you allow yourself to be guided. It's a beautiful process when you know that you can connect and that with the connection, there is so much, there is just so much clarity that takes place. It's it's a rebirthing that is it's just there are no words for it. I can't even come up with the words for it. It's just so powerful. It just and it's integrating and understanding it and accepting it that yes, you're good enough for this. This is what you've been given. You've earned it. You've worked hard for it. You know, now this is yours. What are you going to do with it? You have to take this to the next phase now. You can't just say, oh, I got this and yay, that's it. No. When you know that you are a reflection, you know what you have to do. You have to reflect. You have to reflect. And you have to be transparent with that reflection. And you know that everything has a purpose. And whether you are aware of that purpose consciously or not, you you're going to do what you're going to do because that's how we're designed. Um, an apple is going to be an apple, no matter how much it wants to be a pear. Okay, it's going to be an apple. Period. Okay, that is that portion. Dealing with pettiness and um, passive aggressiveness. And I want to say this is coming up because um, a situation that, and I don't want to put my son's business out there, but he's going through a little something at work. And he's dealing with a person who is so petty. All they know how to do is be petty. Um, and I really believe that this person finds joy in being petty and being passive aggressive. And it's the only way he knows how to be. And I wonder about his life because people who operate from this place, they are hurt people. And what they're doing is to hurt you, but in a manner that is not outright. It's not confrontational. It's the behind your back kind of way of going. And it's coming up, beloveds, because it needs addressing in order for us to move forward in our evolution as a collective. We need to look at those around us who, ourselves first, and then the other ones around us who have tendencies to be petty or to engage in passive aggressive behaviors because we attract this to us. By the law of attraction, what you put out comes back to you. When you're petty, you're in the soup, you're in the stew, and pettiness is gonna get all over you, and everything you put out is gonna have pettiness on it because that's where you're standing at. That's what your influence is. That's what your intention is. It's a box that has been designed. It's a familiar box. And we've got to get allergic to that box. And every time we feel ourselves needing to respond in a petty and in a passive aggressive manner, we got to have that inside talk with ourselves and snatch ourselves back with that crook and flail, okay? Self mastery. No, I ain't finna act like that. I'm better than that. I ain't finna do that. I'm not on that level. See, it's not even about I'm better than that. I'm not on that level. I've moved past that. I don't need to validate myself in that manner. I don't need to prove to you nothing. I'm just going to be me. And how you respond to me being me, that's on you. That's your karma to deal with. You know, that's on you. Because I'm no longer playing the passive aggressive role with you. I'm no longer playing in the pettiness with you. My ego doesn't my ego has to sit its behind down now, okay? It can't run willy-nilly no more. She has the collar on. Okay? I am her dominatrix. She got to sit her ass down and do what I tell her to do. And I know that she's coming from a place of this is who she has needed to be. I look at, I don't usually follow a lot of um, gossip, mess, and drama. I'll say that outright, and those that know me can tell you. Yeah, she don't play that. But I recently saw this stuff with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. They beefing, being petty, being passive aggressive with each other. Babies, you being pitted against each other by an industry of Willie Lynch mofos who just got y'all out there. Y'all talking about babies, y'all babies. Pride, y'all sisters. Squash that dumb shit. It's time to unify. It's time to unite. You got little girls looking at you, wanting to be you. Rise up out of your circumstances. Know yourself. You decide who you are. Don't let nobody make you feel small. And it's easy to say, and I'm the first one. Y'all know me, I go off in a heartbeat. I blink of an eye, you know. But I'm learning that I don't have to defend myself in this world. This world is messed up. Who am I defending myself to? You know, what do you got going on in life that's so above what I've got going? We're all trying to ascend. We're all trying to master ourselves. Nobody has it better than another one. I don't care what it looks like to you. Pain is pain. Both of those young women are in pain, regardless of being in the public eye, regardless of how many dollars you think they got going on behind them, regardless of the game you think they're in and how they're handling that game and those women are in pain. And those women represent other women. And it's time for us to start looking at each other again. And it's time for us to start understanding you don't bring the babies into the stuff. You don't bring the babies into it, and you don't let people goad you into going there. We are noble beings. We are spiritual beings, divine beings. And we have lowered ourselves to act like monkeys because that's what they say. Y'all come from monkeys. That's what they told you. So you got to act like monkey see, monkey do. While they call themselves civilized. And so you got to be civilized and act like they act now. You think, you look at things and you think because they have things that they're wealthy. If you don't have family, and I don't just mean blood, if you don't have family, if you don't even, I'll put it like this, you ain't got to have family. But if you don't even know what family is, you poor. You are poor as family gives you a sense of love that you won't find nowhere else on this world, nowhere else on this planet. Your family is spiritual. Your family is in the stars looking down on you. Learn to tap into that. Learn to focus in on that. Learn to connect. That's your resilience. That's your highness. Okay? That's your high-mindedness of where you vibrate from. That you don't have to be low. That you don't have to grovel. You don't have to prove to nobody that you're better than. You don't have to compete and you don't have to compare. You are noble just by existence. You are divine just because you're breathing. That is divine breath that was given to you. Receive your blessings. Know what your blessings are. Okay. That's it. Going to the cards, and I will be doing this from the Medicine Woman Tarot. And then I got my other favorite deck, which is the 2013 Oracle deck. I am shuffling. I don't know. I'm just going to let the cards speak. I'm just going to let them speak, okay? This one came. And the Dancer is on the bottom, so I'll take the Dancer. Okay, and Healing. All right. Let's just... And Warrior. Okay. Okay, beloveds, that's 4. That's 4. Mama said 4. And out of these 4, beloveds, 3 of them are major arcanas. We have the Chariot card, we have Strength, and we have the Dancer. I'm going to start with the Nurturing Lodge of the Bowls because that was the first one. Dancer was on the bottom, then the other 2 followed. Okay. Let's just get into it. Nurturing, oh, let me show you the card. The Nurturing Lodge of the Bowls. And it's, oh, that's so beautiful, the community. Can you see? Okay. And let's read it. Nurturing Lodge of the Bowls. Let's see what it says. Bowls. Nurturing Lodge of the Bowls. So the Nurturing Lodge of the Bowls would be the Queen of Cups, beloveds. 216, which is 9. 216. There we go. And this is the prayer of it. Many things I have been in the world. Many roles I have played. Now I rest in the very place where you need me. I know the worldly ways. I've struggled with love and come through smiling. I can tell how each one I have loved has brought me into a deeper understanding of you. I see that all my time has become an ongoing act of devotion to you. Through all whom I serve, I see that this devotion brings blessings in many forms to my people. Thank you, grandmother, grandfather, for the wisdom of your lives you have shared. And this is the lesson. Enter the lodge of spiritual family and celebrate your lives together. This is the place and time to utilize your stores of nourishment for self and others. Embrace. Be in peace. Reflect and enjoy. If you cannot fully do this in your life now, there's a lesson here. You have given away too much, saving nothing for the present. You have extended your hand to others so far that you have lost your balance. Go prepare a nurturing space. Renew yourself. Get what you need to fill your space and feel good about sharing once again with others. That is so specific to me, specifically. It's for all of us, beloveds. It's really for the time that we're living in right now. Your life is designed to bring you into constant relationship. Each relationship is a chance to act as if you are serving the divine being by serving that part of God that lights each human and creature presence. As you serve God, further Godness is revealed through each one you serve. Your home becomes your temple, where gods and goddesses are welcome. and you are able to serve as priest, priestess, host, hostess. All is to be passed on in the gracious ways you have learned. All is meant to be received in thanksgiving and returned in the end to earth itself. This way brings constant nourishment to all who live. And that was that card, beloved. And we'll move forward to the Dancer, which is the World card. And I hope you can see it. My computer, like I said, is crazy bonkers. I love the ladies dancing on top of the world. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the beautiful, bounteous harvest. Okay. And again, this is the World card, and it's number 21, which is a 3, which is a sacred, sacred number, beloved. 21, Dancer, and 21 is the last card. The World card is the last card. 129, which is 12, which is 3. Okay. And the major arcana cards are a little bit longer to read than the other ones. What I'm going to do, beloveds, is I'm going to stop this video and start another one, just because the other ones are okay. 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 Okay, never mind. I'm going to keep going. It says there's enough space for me to finish this card. So, 21, Dancer. Number 21, meaning attainment. Traditional name, the world. Medicine woman energy, dancer in the winds of time. The affirmation. The present is my point of power. All light, all love, all energy pass through me now, creating ongoing beauty, balance, and awakening on the path toward infinite bliss. From death, the pause of perfect peace, I am born to dance on top of the world. I love Carol Bridges. The card speaks. I am cosmic consciousness, an awareness in the now of the many forces at work on every plane of existence in and beyond this world. In a sense, I am what has been referred to as the New Age. I am what has been referred to as the New Age. When all is in balance and everyone lives in peace and harmony, recognizing their oneness with each other, I am the end.